All right, guys, welcome back to another edition of J-Fabe Wrestling, rebooking every WrestleMania. Now we're at WrestleMania Goes Hollywood, WrestleMania 21. And funny enough, WrestleMania is back in Hollywood, back in Los Angeles this year. And they're having some fun vignettes, or trailers, I should say. Definitely bringing back the nostalgia. Let me just say this, the branding for this WrestleMania was top-notch. The trailers were amazing. You had Booker T and Eddie Guerrero. They were doing, what was that movie called? Pulp Fiction. You had, is it Taxi Driver? We had, the line, "Oh, are you talking to me?" And you had great lines there. You had Benoit, Jericho, Christian, and Stacy doing Basic Instinct. I believe Triple H and Ric Flair were doing Braveheart. Just amazing trailers to build up the show. And this show was really good as well. Obviously, you had the rise of John Cena and Batista, but you also, kind of got the rise of Edge as well. The first ever Money in the Bank, which is, still a big part of WWE history today. And then you got some iconic dream matches, Shawn versus Kurt Angle and Taker versus Randy. So those are pretty cool interpromotional matches. And yeah. So let me get into the card. So you had Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio. You had the Money in the Bank ladder match, Edge, Christian, Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit, Shelton Benjamin, and Kane. You had the Women's Championship match, Trish Stratus versus Christy Hemme. You have the Undertaker versus Randy Orton. You have Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle. Sumo match between the Big Show and Akebono. You also had a Piper's Pit in there with Steve Austin. And you also had WWE Championship, John Cena challenging JBL, and for the World Heavyweight Championship, Batista challenging the Game, Triple H. So yeah, really good card, and it wasn't as bloated as WrestleMania 20. Less matches, and I thought it was really good. The first half of the WrestleMania 21 was all time. You had Ray and Eddie kick off the show. Then you had, a great Money in the Bank ladder match. I still say it's still the best Money in the Bank ladder match. Randy and Undertaker had a good match. Kurt and Shawn, epic match. And the title matches, they had the great moments of them winning were cool, but the matches themselves weren't. So I'm going to try and, improve those title matches. So let's get into the card. Here we go. All right, my first match will be for the Cruiserweight Championship. We have Spike Dudley versus Paul London versus Chavo Guerrero versus Billy Kidman. So, first off, I felt Spike Dudley was having a great run with the Cruiserweight Championship. They ended it prematurely by having him drop it to Funaki at Armageddon 2004. I feel like, he deserved to be on WrestleMania defending his championship. Then you have Chavo Guerrero. He's always in the Cruiserweight division. Then you have Paul London and Billy Kidman. They had a great rivalry as well, so I'll incorporate that into this matchup here. And just 4 talented Cruiserweights. Give them around 8 to 10 minutes. I think it'll be a fun match. And this is where I give Paul London the win. I know he did win it. I think, was it before this? But I think it would be better for Paul London to win it off Spike Dudley, who had a pretty long reign, and be a good way to kick off the show. All right, next up, we got the Women's Championship match. Trish Stratus versus Stacy Keibler. So originally it was Christy Hemme, and also it was supposed to be Lita, right? But Lita got injured, so obviously... I just felt like Stacy, she deserved it, She's probably has the same ring ability, probably better than Christy Hemme. So I know they were trying to promote the Diva Search and Christy Hemme being in Playboy, but, I felt like Stacy, she kind of deserved a moment for herself. if you look at the previous women's champion winners, you got like the Cat, she won it, and I feel like Stacy deserves it. Her and Tori, I felt like, they deserve to become women's champion just based on how popular they were. So I'd have Lita train Stacy. You could have that same thing going on here, and Trish can ref can get distracted. Lita could hit Trish with her crutch, and Stacy could get the surprising win. Trish was gonna leave anyways, and I think it'd just be a good moment for Stacy Keibler. She's probably gonna be in the Hall of Fame this year too, so she should have been at least a one-time women's champion, even though she couldn't work. A lot of the wrestlers back then couldn't work. The women's wrestlers, and they became champion, like the Cat, So I ain't mad at it. All right, next up, we got Battle of the Tag Team Champions, the Dudley Boyz versus Muhammad Hassan and Davari. So, yeah, the Bashrams, they won the titles after Ray and RVD got hurt, I believe. So, I'd have the Dudley Boyz defeat them at No Way Out. And I'd have Muhammad Hassan and Davari defeat, I believe it was William Regal and Tajiri for the tag team titles on Raw. So, yeah, you just have Hassan and Davari challenge the Dudley Boyz because they want to prove they're the best tag team, and they want to prove America wrong, that all this violence is, the reason why America sucks. And, the Dudley Boyz can accept. Obviously, they're from New York City, they're patriotic. So, and it'll be a tables match. I think it'll be fun. And I'd actually give Hassan and Davari the win. The Dudley Boyz, they're on the way out anyways. And yeah, Hassan, he had some big things coming later in the year, so I give Hassan and Davari the win. You can have Hassan put Bubba through the table at the end. He could do like a power bomb or something. And yeah, it should be a fun match. All right, next up we got the Money in the Bank ladder match. I'd have it actually be interpromotional though, because originally it was a Raw match, but I'd have it interpromotional. I'd have Edge, Christian, Kane, Mysterio, Carlito, and the Big Show. Yeah, this was tough because I know Big Show, he doesn't really work in these matches, but I really had nowhere else to put him. I didn't really want to have a sumo match with Akibono. That wasn't that good, so I stuck him in here. Yeah, maybe they could just get bigger ladders like they've done later in the years, so Big Show could participate in Money in the Bank ladder matches. But yeah, I think this won't be as good just because I took some people out, but I took them out for a specific reason. And yeah, you still got Ray in there, Carlito, he can do some high-flying stuff, and then you got the two power guys, so I think it'll be a fun match. Edge still gets the win. You can have the same finish where Edge hits let's let it be Rey Mysterio. He's climbing the ladder. Edge kind of hits him with a chair, and he wins the Money in the Bank. And yeah, should be, again, probably not as good as the original one, but I think it'll still be as good. All right, next up we got the U.S. Championship match. JBL versus Booker T. So I'm not sure if you guys are, listening to my other rebookings. I rebooked like SummerSlam and 2004 and Survivor Series 2004, stuff like that. So I actually don't have JBL as WWE champion coming in. I actually have him become U.S. champion. I have him be the one to beat John Cena. And yeah, Booker would obviously, he'd start off as a heel on SmackDown. He would turn face. JBL would actually have asked Booker to join his cabinet. And, Booker would be like, hell nah, man, I ain't Orlando Jordan. I think they did have this feud actually at Survivor Series. So you can kind of have the similar build there where JBL's being a bully and Booker's helping out. I believe he helped out Josh Matthews beat JBL in a match. So, yeah, you can kind of have that. And I'd actually give Booker T the win here. Nice feel-good moment for a babyface. And actually move this is where I'd move JBL into the title picture. All right, next up, we got the Intercontinental Championship match. Shelton Benjamin versus Chris Jericho. I know I took out Shelton in the Money in the Bank, which definitely hurt me to do that. But I just feel like the IC title should be defended at WrestleMania, man. Like it hasn't been, it wasn't defended until WrestleMania 25, which is ridiculous. So yeah, I had to make a sacrifice, and unfortunately, I had to get rid of Shelton and Jericho in the Money in the Bank. But I felt like I replaced them with decent people, like I said earlier. So yeah, they had a really good match at Backlash. So you could probably have that match here where Jericho is, kind of testing Shelton and saying, you got to beat me to get to that next level. And Shelton's like, yeah, don't worry, I will beat you. Like Shelton's kind of like a, he's a chill guy. He has no worries. And Jericho's trying to get in his head with the trash talk and the mind games. And I'd have Shelton go over here just like he did at Backlash. I think this would be a really good match. You could give them like 12 minutes. And All right. Next up, we got The Undertaker versus Chris Benoit. Yes. So I did a little tweaking here. Originally, he did fight Randy, but Randy's doing something else later on in the show. And yeah, I think this would just be a really, really good match. I don't think they fought on pay-per-view. They may have fought at a UK show in 2000, but Undertaker wasn't really Undertaker then. He was kind of like out of shape. And that was Biker Taker too, so. And Benoit, he wasn't solidified yet as a main eventer. Here, he's solidified as a main eventer. And this is how I'd have the build. So it actually intertwines with the next match as well. But, after WrestleMania, Benoit's like, yeah, unfortunately I'm not main eventing this year. And, but I've decided to do something that's just as big as winning the world title. I've decided to challenge The Undertaker at WrestleMania to defeat his streak. And Undertaker would accept. And yeah, you can go from there. Undertaker playing mind games. And Benoit being the no fear, no BS, saying, I'm not intimidated by The Undertaker. I'm going to make him tap out. And yeah, I think it would be a really good match. Again, give these guys 15 to 20 minutes. You see what Undertaker did with Kurt Angle in 2006. You could have something similar to this kind of match. And obviously, Undertaker gets the win. And yeah. All right, next up, we got the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels versus Eddie Guerrero. Yes. You thought I was going to say Kurt Angle, but no, I said Eddie Guerrero. And yeah, remember what I said earlier with Benoit, it intertwines with this one. So I'd have Benoit and Eddie, kind of get together and say, man, we main evented WrestleMania now. We're not main eventing anymore. What can we do? And that's actually where Eddie says, you know what? Why don't you challenge The Undertaker? And Benoit's like, you know what, Eddie? Why don't you challenge Mr. WrestleMania, Shawn Michaels? So, they're both, encouraging each other to have, big matches at WrestleMania. And Eddie accepts. He's like, you know what, Vato Shawn Michaels, Ese, I challenge you to a match at WrestleMania because I was the Heartbreak Kid of Mexico. And, and Eddie could bring out, like, how he put in the time, like Shawn Michaels, and now he's better than Shawn Michaels, he thinks. And, Shawn could accept and say, you know what, there's only one Heartbreak Kid, and I'll prove to you that no one could beat me at WrestleMania because I am Mr. WrestleMania. And this would be an epic match. I think it'd be just as good as Shawn versus Kurt. And yeah, obviously this was the only time to have the match just because Eddie passed away later on the year. So that's also why I kind of wanted to do a Shawn versus Eddie match. Just because, we could get Shawn and Kurt later on down the year. But we won't be able to get a Shawn Eddie match at WrestleMania. So, yeah, I think this would be a great match. I'd actually have Eddie Guerrero get the win, just like he put Kurt Angle over. I think Eddie kind of needed a win here. Shawn is bulletproof. Eddie, he kind of lost the world title, lost a little bit of momentum, but I'd have him get the win here. And this can trigger the heel turn where he gets cocky and arrogant and he turns on Rey Mysterio because he thinks he's the greatest. And yeah, I think this will be a 5-star match. Give these guys 20 to 25 minutes. And it'll be an epic match. All right, now we're at the WWE Championship match. Kurt Angle versus John Cena. So I'd have Kurt Angle win the title from the Undertaker. If you looked at my previous booking, Undertaker was champion at Survivor Series 2004, but Kurt would beat him probably at Armageddon and retain at the Rumble. Cena would win a tournament at No Way Out. He would defeat Eddie Guerrero in the finals. So it'd be, Kurt versus Cena. And they had a really, really good match at No Way Out. You could probably have that same match here, and it would improve WrestleMania. And, you could just play off the history of, John Cena being that young kid, challenging Kurt with ruthless aggression, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. And from there, John Cena's career kind of, went down, and, Kurt Angle was out here winning championships. John Cena reinvented himself. He became a cocky punk kid, and he fought Kurt in 2003, but Kurt again beat him. So, Kurt can say, it doesn't matter if you're a prototype, doesn't matter if you're Dr. Thugonomics. It doesn't matter in any world, Kurt Angle defeats John Cena. So, yeah, you can have John Cena, play up the with the freestyles and the disses, but he also gets serious and says, this is his dream and nothing's going to stop him from achieving his dream. And, you could also have Kurt Angle dog John Cena for being a street thug and saying, I'm a true American hero. I'm someone, I'm a true role model, unlike you. And John Cena could bring up, that you're a phony and that, you say you're all this, but you're really not that great. So I think it'll be a great match. John Cena gets to win. I feel like John Cena's championship win definitely deserved to be a better match than him versus JBL. So, yeah, John Cena gets to win in a really good match. You could get these guys again 15 to 20 minutes, and I think they'll have a really good match. All right, now we're at the main event of the evening. World Heavyweight Championship. Triple H defending against Batista, Randy Orton, and Ric Flair. Yes, we got an Evolution Fatal 4-Way elimination match. Yeah. I feel like if you wanted to culminate the Evolution story, let's get all 4 of them in the match. I think it'd be cool. So, yeah, going into Survivor Series, obviously Randy is the world champion. And I'd have him, drop it to Triple H at the Rumble. And you can have the same thing at the Chamber here where, Triple H doesn't save Batista. And, Triple H retains at the Elimination Chamber at New Year's Revolution. Batista wins the Rumble. And Randy could come in and say, hey, man, look, he has unfinished business with Triple H and Batista because they turned on him. And, all 3 of them could be arguing. And Ric Flair can come out and say, I'm tired of hearing about how you say you're the best, you say that you're the best, or you say that you're the best. I've been in the shadows of you 3 for too long, and I want my moment at WrestleMania. Eric Bischoff says, you know what, let's make it a Fatal 4-Way elimination match. And, they could play off the history of Evolution. Triple H saying, I built this team and I'm going to end it. And you can say Batista saying, I've been dealing with all 3 of you guys, telling me what to do and all that. But now I'm my own man. I'm the animal. And Randy could talk about how, they're all jealous that, I'm the biggest star out of this group. And Ric Flair can say, I don't get enough credit for what I've done for all 3 of you. So, yeah, I think it'll be a good match. I have Ric Flair get eliminated first by Randy with the RKO. And then I have Triple H eliminate Randy with the pedigree, and you have Triple H and Batista go at it for the final moments. And that's when I have Batista, Triple H goes for the pedigree. Batista, breaks the grip, and then he goes for the Batista bomb, and he wins the World Heavyweight Championship in a great moment. And so we got the two stars from OVW, John Cena and Batista, getting their moment at WrestleMania. Alright guys, that is my card. Let me know what you think about my card. Let me run down the card for you right now. So we got the Cruiserweight Championship, Spike Dudley defending against Paul London, Chavo Guerrero, and Billy Kidman. We got the Women's Championship, Trish Stratus defending against Stacy Keibler. We got the Battle of the Tag Team Champions, the World Tag Team Champions, Muhammad Hassan and Davari versus the WWE Tag Team Champions, the Dudley Boyz, in a tables match. We got the Money in the Bank ladder match, Kane, Edge, Christian, Rey Mysterio, The Big Show, and Carlito. We got the US Championship match, JBL defending against Booker T. We got the Intercontinental Championship match, Shelton Benjamin defending against Chris Jericho. We got the Undertaker versus Chris Benoit. That's Shawn Michaels versus Eddie Guerrero. And for the WWE Championship, Kurt Angle defending against John Cena. And for the World Heavyweight Championship in an elimination fatal 4-way, we got Triple H defending against Batista, Ric Flair, and Randy Orton. So yeah guys, that is my card. Let me know what you think. Appreciate the support. And yeah, tune in for WrestleMania 22 next. Peace.